Stuart, this is Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer.
In a spiritual sense, is the root of procrastination fear?
Is the risk of what?
Is the root of procrastination fear?
I don't understand your question.
Well, we keep talking about procrastination, and I'm just,
Procrastination is it's like a disease that filters into every aspect of society. I mean, look, in the political world, they know all the problems that goes on in the world, and there's always reasons not to confront them and do it. In the same thing in the religious world, they know the problems, but there's always 50 reasons why they can't do it. And those reasons lead to procrastination and make the world to less of a place. In the spiritual world, it's the same thing. Everybody, just about everybody, I wouldn't say everybody, you'll have to, I don't understand, but my computer keeps going out, coming back. I don't know if you all see that, but it's kind of a pain in the neck here, But in the world of meditation, people usually do meditation for a purpose of just maybe relaxing, maybe feeling a little better, getting over a problem, having gone through a dramatic situation, and very few people will sustain it. People, make commitments to come to classes, but in terms of, look, I know what Rudy went through to have a spiritual life. I know what I've been through in order to tap higher energy and sustain it in my life. I know the amount of classes I have to teach and the work that I have to do every week. I mean, I'm dead tired. This week has been a week beyond all other weeks, and it's all a matter of, am I going to do the work, or am I going to just put it off and say, no, I'm tired. I need to do this, that, something else. I'll come back to it in 2 weeks. There will be some students that'll come back. I could make those excuses if I wanted to. And it doesn't work. You have to do what your responsibility is to yourself to grow, to do the inner work. And I'm not saying this as a kind of fanatical approach to spirituality. I'm just saying the hardest person to overcome in this world is ourselves. We can blank out everybody else. We can walk away from other people. We can, transform their nonsense into something else. The depth of our own resistance and our own blocking towards growth is the single most difficult thing for a human being to overcome. And it takes work. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy your life. I mean, look, tomorrow I'm going to go to a restaurant with my daughter, a concert. I have to go to a doctor. I have a whole full day tomorrow, of stuff to do. And a part of it is enjoying the day, enjoying life, and also understanding that being here in this meditation class with all of you is essential for my life. This is why I do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And I discovered years ago, that when your need to have a spiritual life is real, the universe begins to work for you. It begins to clear a path that allows you to do it. When I was 26, 7 years old, it began to clear a path for me that allowed me to do this because I realized how important this was for my life. Work, I told the story 100 times, I walked into a restaurant, I needed a job. I used to work as a waiter, a bartender when I was younger, and I needed a job. And I asked the guy, he said, yes, we have openings. And he said to me, what days do you want to work? So I said, oh, Rudy teaches classes on Mondays, Wednesdays, whatever he taught classes. So I told him the days. And he said, absolutely, I'll put your name on the schedule. Now, one can say it's a coincidence, but I don't think so. It was my need to practice, a spiritual path that came to me that was so important in my life that it began to change the way the world approached me. And from that point on, work, relationships, family, nothing ever interfered with my sitting here and doing this meditation. Nothing. There were never any excuses. It just separate. I even had a business for 30 years that enabled me to be in meditation class every evening. A business that made a lot of money. It was given to me so that I could do this. So it wouldn't interfere with this. So what I'm saying is that when the need is so deep in a human being, suddenly everything opens up and is provided for to make it possible for you to do it. And there's no procrastination. You just do it. I mean, it's like that with money. When, money is God, nothing interferes with a person making money, including the people that are the dearest to them, So I don't want to be, kind of cracking a whip in this. I'm just saying it's commitment. It's the need to be with God. And if you find a way that helps you to get there, then that need will clear a path for you. It will open the door and will provide you with a way to earn an income, with a relationship, with everything that human beings supposedly enjoy in this life, it will be provided for you without ever interfering with your, the path you've taken to have a spiritual life. And then there's no procrastination. You just do it. And you do it with joy. I mean, today I taught 2 classes today. I couldn't believe I can get through this. I am really tired from this week. It's been an extraordinary week, but it's my responsibility to be here and to do this. So overcome the tiredness. And the next few days I can take a quasi rest and, and then Sunday I'll be ready to go again. I mean, is it clear what I'm talking about? I mean, look, I always use the metaphor of Moses waving a wand and the Red Sea path opened up and all the Jews that were slaves in Israel moved through the Red Sea to the other side into not quite the promised land, but out of Egypt, out of slavery. And when the need to be with God is that strong, the Red Sea opens. Life begins to open for you in ways that you never dreamed of. And then there's no procrastination. You just do what you got to do, So you don't do what you got to do, then you got to come back in the next lifetime to do it. And then the same bullshit starts all over again. You get back on the merry-go-round of karma, and you got to grow up and find a path, struggle against all these people that tell you you're crazy, what you're doing. It's really unbelievable what goes on in this world. And until one develops that kind of need, is one incarnation after another. Come back again and beat your head against the wall and, make excuses, and it's this and that. And I'm not trying to threaten anyone. I'm saying, hey, I said it this morning, time is precious. We're given and allotted a certain amount of time. And then we have the power of choice, how we're going to use it. And mostly the choices make have to do with material and, stuff, stuff of the earth. Which is all right. I made those choices. I had to run a business for God knows how long, and it was successful business. I made a lot of money doing it. But I always realized it wasn't the path I needed. That wasn't enough for me. It didn't satisfy my need to get to God. It gave me an interesting, comfortable way to live, but it never satisfied that need to be with God. At any rate, I talk about this procrastination thing only for one reason. We literally are allotted a certain amount of time. It's like a gift. Time is sacred. It's precious. And what we do with it determines how close we get to God. And I don't mean going into monasteries and ashrams and all that stuff. That doesn't get you closer to God. I mean, internally, in oneself, in the depth within oneself that one reaches to, and the dialogue that begins to take place between a human being and God. And now that connection manifests in your life. And there are never any excuses. You do what you have to do. And it leads to loving yourself, loving other people, recognizing that all of life around you is a manifestation of higher energy. It's sacred. It's a jewel. It's a jewel. The rarest of jewels, the rarest of sacred manifestations. Life itself, this precious gift that most people literally take for granted. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Singh.
Well, yes.
It seems as if there's a difference between wishing that you get a job that you've applied for and parting the Red Sea. What is that difference?
Well, I'm just using that as a metaphor, And the difference is that metaphor works when your need to have a spiritual life is so strong that it will part life begins to cater to you. It begins to make it possible for you to do what you have to do to have a spiritual life. But it comes from inside, not from outside. It's an inner need that makes that happen. And, like the Red Sea, it's a great metaphor. for the fact that life opens up to you and gives you ways of earning a living, having relationships, social, whatever, going to the theater, going to movies, dinner. It gives you a way of doing all these things without them ever interfering with your spiritual life. Whereas in most people's worlds, all these things interfere with their spiritual life. I got this, I got that, I got the other, I've heard every got I've heard, and I don't listen anymore. Oh, I got this, I got the other, okay. But when that need is real, life opens. It makes you possible to do all these things and to do them with love, with joy, with gratitude, with clarity, with calmness, with inner peace. And at the same time, these things will never interfere. Anybody has any idea why my computer keeps doing this, please send me an email, and maybe I can stop it. Keeps closing, Maybe I should keep my mouth shut. Does anyone else have a question they would like? Is that clear, Bob?
Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I'll just vanish. And just to finish this, it's all done incrementally, step by step by step. You don't, you don't separate the Red Sea. You get stronger inside and gradually build a system inside that is strong enough that life begins to do this for you. It's not something you can do, when you first start doing this meditation. It takes time to incrementally build a system that enables life to recognize that you are a child of God, and life has to open whatever doors it can open in order to give you a path to your enlightenment. But incrementally, and this way you have patience with yourself, patience with the things wrong with you. It's how I had to do it. It's how Rudy had to do it. Even the greatest of the greats, the Buddha, it's how the Buddha, he went to the desert, spent, how many days and nights fasting in the desert. Incrementally, they became children of God. Christ, battling with the devil in the desert, incrementally, they all became children of God, but step by step by step by step. And the Buddha, Christ, Muhammad, they all live inside each and every one of us. Moses, every great being, lives inside each and every one of us, which means that we can attain those levels that they attained if we stop procrastinating. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, I hope it's clear what I'm talking about, and I think it's essential. So God bless you all, and This has been an amazing week. An amazing week in terms of inner growth and change, and I'm looking forward to what next week brings. I mean, God bless you all for being here, for being part of this. As I say, you all have become my teacher. Life is my teacher. Rudy told me that. He said, anyone ever asks you who the guru is, tell them it's life. Not Swami this one and Yogi that one and Reverend this and Rabbi that. It's life. The purpose of being a teacher is not to sit in some ivory tower, everybody just licks your foot. The purpose of being a teacher is to train people to have their own independent connection with God. To help people develop a chakra system or whatever path they take that gets them closer to their spiritual enlightenment. That gets them closer to where they recognize that the real guru is life and all its dimensions, and profundity and stupidity and idiocy and everything else. Is anyone else? Okay, look, God bless you all. And there'll be class on Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Good night, Stuart.